Saddiq, how would you describe, the feeling after coming off a game like this?
We needed it, man. We came off two tough games, so we got more players back, and it was good to get the camaraderie. And they made a run down at the end and the stretch, so we had to make sure that we came together and so to finish the game.
Coach Casey talked about mindset and how on those road games that you guys didn't really approach the games with the right mindset, and how crucial it was to come into this game, with the right approach. So, what was the difference you feel like for you guys tonight?
Just know we didn't come out, like you said, early in the first quarter in those previous two games. So we wanted to make sure we set the tone at home and, really focus on our defensive end. Shots might go in and might not, but we could focus on our intensity during our own defense.
For you personally, you started off strong. What was working well for you?
Just trusting in my work and, just trusting in our offensive sets and to try to be aggressive when my number was called or when I felt like it was an opening. So, and just try to help the team as much as possible. Yeah.
The midweek losses kind of been what's been at the forefront of this team, but you guys have won 3 of the last 5. All 3, you guys had to kind of close down the stretch, which is something you guys struggled with early on there. Do you feel like, regardless of the record, there is progress being made and it's starting to turn into W's?
Oh, for sure. We had countless number of wins and number of losses in the beginning of the season that was down the stretch or the fourth quarter where we was up double digits or single digits and they came back. So I think for us to, learn how to close games is definitely a step in the right direction for us, down the stretch.
Tommy kind of helped you guys close it out at the end of the fourth and Trey at the beginning of the fourth. I think he played Trey for just a super long stretch. What did you like from what Trey was able to do tonight?
Great veteran presence, and he made plays down the stretch, with the ball, screening, rolling, off the dribble, made shots. So it was good just to see him step up, as a vet.
Cory Joseph too at the start of that fourth quarter, he was really dicing up their zone. How important does Cory have back just as sort of a calming presence?
It's great, man. He has great poise and pace, and he's also another vet. So down the stretch, we rely on him to get us in our sets and be able to help us win games down the stretch. So it's great to have him back.
Tommy obviously was in a pretty big role last week. Now with guys back, it's kind of going back to what he was doing before. But what have you seen from him as far as finding opportunities to attack, but still, doing what he does best, the tip ends, transition, those types of points?
Yeah, he's, just trusting in, his role, and, every day and every game might be different, so he stays aggressive, makes the right cuts, makes the right plays, and we need that, from him. Thank you.
How was your first game being back from protocol?
It was good. My win felt pretty good actually. So we got the W, so it was good.
Did you feel winded at all, or
I've been riding the bike that I have at home and whatnot. So today I felt actually pretty good. Yeah, can't lie to you, I felt pretty good.
What was it like just watching them go through these past, 6 games you missed or so, and just seeing it's just different when you're looking at it on TV. You're looking from a different perspective in that.
Yeah, I watched every game, every minute. Try to do my part. Texting guys and whatnot, and it was amazing to see people get called up, an opportunity. A lot of those guys did an amazing job. Hopefully, they get more opportunities, whether that's here or somewhere else. That's what it's really all about. When you see guys, working, I was in the G League when I first came to the league. I played down there for 2 years. So I understand that grind. I understand that. So it was good to see on that aspect, and it was exciting. And plus, people had to step up in terms, obviously Hami did an amazing job. Saddiq did an amazing job. Luka did an amazing job. And I think it got us in, got those guys in a rhythm. So, although they're not in the same type of role right now, I think that it only complements the team as we're back all together. I think we just got to, continue to get better.
How did you take that going into protocols? Because you guys have done pretty well. You're one of the few teams that didn't have anybody going to protocols at all, and then kind of all at once. Just had a bunch of people go in at the same time. How did that kind of surprise you? And
yeah,
how did that feel when you found out?
It's just the times we're in right now. It's kind of, this thing's spreading like, wildfire. So, I mean, kind of just took the news for what it is and just, try to get back healthy.
Or you've known Trey for quite some time. He's a guy that's high draft pick, still trying to find his way in the league, and he's come here where he's been asked to play the 5 because of injuries. And it looks like he's getting more and more comfortable just with who he is as a player. What have you seen from him this season, and maybe in comparison to keeping tabs on him throughout the previous stuff?
Yeah, he's really, really playing well. I think, he has a good feel for the game. His IQ is high. And playing that 5 position, it really gives other teams a matchup problem in terms of how he puts it on the ground, how he could get into the paint and create for others. And obviously for himself, how he shoots the ball, allows him to, pick, pop. Teams have to respect him on the 3-point line, and also he could put on the floor. And you've seen some of that today. He caught a good stretch there where he was kind of, taking that lead for us scoring wise. But he's doing an amazing job. So it's got to keep going.
How valuable is it for this team to to put themselves in a position to be competitive in the fourth quarter, just to have the experience of going through what it takes to win, whether you wind up winning or not, just to go through it as often as you can to get there?
Yeah, it's very valuable. That's where you learn a lot in those close games down the stretch. You gain a lot of experience, during those type of games. We've been in, a good few of them, and not always came on the right side of it. Today we kind of buckled down. We got stops when we needed to. We ultimately got the win. We just got to keep building on that.
This was a bit of a weird week. Obviously, a lot of guys come back from the safety protocols, sandwiched with wins over the Magic and Bucks, and then 2 blowout losses in between. But kind of what was the vibe, just kind of behind the scenes through all this, like, guys staying focused and everything, just kind of how did everybody stay on the same page just with so much craziness happening?
Well, for guys, I mean, for myself, I can only speak for myself. I just try, like I said, try to watch film, try to, keep in communication over the telephone with everybody, and just try to, learn. Obviously, I'm not there physically, but mentally, I try to put myself there and get better and just try to stay focused in that realm right there. But I think other guys did that while they were out, and it allowed us to come back in and kind of transition smoothly. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Cory.
Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Coach, you said you needed to see your guys come into tonight's game with a different mindset. What was the difference you feel like for your team?
Well, I thought our defensive focus was there to start the game. We had a little bit more pep in our step, Brooke, where we didn't the last 2 games. We got blown out for 30, and this team is in the same rebuilding process as we are. So, it was good to see. But I was more happy with the guys bouncing back, the way they bounced back with their spirit. They didn't hang their head when we lost the lead. We kept playing. And again, the NBA is like that. The NBA is about adversity. How do you face adversity? And some people can't handle it. Some people, are impatient with it. So again, I thought we handled it. They made their run. We fought back, got control of the game, and won the game.
Yeah, it was huge fourth quarter, especially for Trey Lyles and 𝐒𝐂𝐈𝐀. I mean, what did you see from them when it came to sparking that production?
Well, Trey is a matchup problem for anybody because of his shooting, his 3-point shooting ability. And we needed that down the stretch. And then Isaiah is also still, I don't think is 100% with his health. So we had to watch his minutes. And I thought Trey stepped in big time down the stretch. They only scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. And that was big for us also.
Dwane, the midweek losses have kind of been at the forefront the last few days, but you guys have won 3 of the last 5, and all of which you guys have to close late game, and which obviously was an issue to start the year. Is that something that you're taking away from this past week? And
well, again, hopefully we learned a lot from this last week as far as the COVID situation, bringing players in, bringing players out, in sync, out of sync, whatever the situation is. I think we all learned a lot. Our medical staff, coaching staff, everybody learned, for what you can do and how much you can go and still be functional through those 2 games. And maybe it's too quick. Maybe need more time for conditioning or whatever. But we learn, we move on. I think the whole league is learning. That first game back, you're full of adrenaline, excited. And then the next couple of days, you're down a little bit. So that's normal.
But again, even that, you still have to fight through, and guys off the bench have to come in and pitch in, and hopefully we learn from that. And again, we're growing. I don't get caught up in who's saying what's saying, all that. I understand what we have in that locker room and where we need to go and how we need to grow. So I get down when we get beat, but I don't lose sight of the big picture.
The start of that fourth quarter was pretty important stretch. And was that sort of an example of what Cory can mean to this team, the way you kind of settle things down and dissect that zone?
No question. We made a lot of mistakes down the stretch. You know, blitzing when we should be just switching, fouling when we just let the guy go up. So again, in experiences, many times I think every coach told a player on the way out what we were doing. And once it started, you know, they get so excited, and that's where veteran play comes in. And Cory did that down the stretch and kind of held serve and helped Cade out down the stretch.
Speaking of veteran presence, it seems like in a lot of your wins, you've had those vets who close things out tonight. It's Trey to start the fourth, you get that middle part from Cory, but then Diallo gets a couple of things there. Is that just what you're going to have to rely on in terms of that experience?
Well, yeah, you know, Jaime's a quasi-vet, but the play of Cory down the stretch was big. And it'd be good to get our other players in to continue to grow, get winning habits. And, you know, I really thought our G League guys came in, pitched in when they did, played well. Derek Walton's a quasi-vet. J-Rob is a quasi-vet. So they came in and looked a little bit different. So again, and there's no knock on anybody here. It is experience. I mean, these guys have to grow. We could, you know, just play all old guys. And, you know, what does that do us next year and the year after that of building our program? So that's where we are. But I was proud of the way our guys came in tonight and competed and closed it out.
Seemed like Saban was productive in the minutes he did play. He had the transition pass off to Trey. He had the block. He had but still, it seems like he was finding ways to be effective. Ren, what does that say just about making the most of your role when you're out there?
No question. No, I thought his defense was big time on Cole Anthony. Anthony, I think, is an unsung growing star in our league as far as being able to score. I know he's been hobbled with the ankle injury a little bit, but he and Harris are big time. I coached Harris's mother over in Japan, so that shows you how old I am. And so he's not the best shooter in his family. His mom was. So, but he's still a good player. Don't take that wrong. All right, thank you.
Thank you.